This is a Ferrari 458 Speciale, and I won't waste any time denying it, this is my favorite Ferrari. It's beautiful from every angle, the perfect mixture of functional aesthetics and Italian elegance. If you asked me what I would change, I would remain silent. But make no mistake, my admiration for this car is not purely founded in feelings. There's reason, logic behind it, because this Berlinetta may very well be the greatest modern Ferrari ever made.
Now that's a bold statement, but I think it's true. Let me start by talking you through the brochure bits. This car was offered as a model year 2014 and 2015, which means at the time of filming this video, it is now a decade old. It has a naturally aspirated 4.5-liter V8 that produces 597 brake horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. Drive goes exclusively to the rear wheels via a revamped version of Ferrari's then F1 7-speed double-clutch automatic gearbox. All of this means that 0 to 60 was done with in just 3 seconds. Now that is fast, but not mind-bendingly fast, because we're comparing it, of course, to cars that exist today. And that brings me to my point. To be a great Ferrari, you can't just have performance. Performance is like technology. What's fast today might be normal tomorrow and slow the next day. Perfect example of this is the Ferrari F40. In its day, it was extreme. But today, it's got under 500 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time very similar to a modern-day BMW M2. So it's nothing really to write home about, and yet nobody doubts its significance. My point is, in the future, I think we're going to say much the same thing about this.
The Speciale is deserving of its moniker. Where other brands have a habit of introducing special models that differ only in color, the Speciale is a refined, thoughtful take on the already brilliant 458 Italia. For starters, it was more powerful. In fact, at the time of its release, it was the most powerful road-going V8 Ferrari ever made. This was achieved by obsessing over optimization. Changes were made to the combustion fluid dynamics, volumetric and mechanical efficiency, compression ratio, intake geometry, cam profiles, piston material, conrod bushings, crankshaft, exhaust inlet tract, and all of this produced in the factory's in-house foundry using techniques learned from their experience in Formula One.
Time and efforts were also devoted to the aerodynamics on this car. So on the front, you have a series of active flaps. At lower speeds, they'll remain closed to allow air to flow into the radiator, later to be exhausted out of these nostrils on the hood. But at higher speeds, to reduce drag, those flaps will open up, redirecting the airflow through these veins on the side of the front bumper along the side of the bodywork. Along the backside of the car, you'll notice a more defined rear lip spoiler, which is all integrated into the bodywork, and it works in tandem with the new diffuser. More aerodynamic wizardry is found underneath that diffuser in the form of a horizontal flap. At higher speeds, when you really want to slip through the air, that horizontal flap will lower as much as 17 degrees, stalling out the effects of the diffuser and reducing your overall drag.
Compared to the standard car, the Speciale brings with it the introduction of side slip angle control to better manage when things get sideways. Also, a revamped gearbox that offers 40% faster longitudinal acceleration, coupled with a 20% improvement in engine response for upshifts, 44% improvement for faster downshifts, a new braking system developed from the LaFerrari with a 8% shorter stopping distance. There's a new CPU, new dampers, new software, specially designed tires from Michelin with 6% more grip, and bespoke wheels that are 12 kg lighter. All of this resulting in a driving experience that is not only unique to the standard car, but damn near perfect.
All of that stuff is great on paper, but Ferraris are not about being on paper. The performance comes almost secondary to what really makes Ferrari special and sets it apart from all of the cars that otherwise would be competing with it. And that's the feeling, the emotions that driving a Ferrari introduces into your soul. It's something that you'll only understand when you experience it for yourself. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to take this out for a drive. The owner's going to tag along with us. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions about ownership. We'll have some great car conversation about where we feel this car fits in the car industry. And then hopefully I'll be able to get behind the wheel to give you guys some impressions of what it's like to drive. So I'm here with Dr. Plastique. Again, this is actually the second video in our series. We did a video with his Murcielago SV, so I'll link that down below. You guys should definitely
check that out. So this is the 2015
2015
458 Speciale.
Speciale.
Bianco Avus.
Correct. The
Bianco Avus with the tricolore stripe. So, God, it sounds so good.
I wonder if it might be too loud to do the video.
No, it'll be fine.
I'll keep RPMs a little low here.
No, don't do that. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. Even if we can't hear anything but the exhaust, I'm
That'll
sure
be the video.
that's what people want to hear anyway. So you've had 3 of these.
Yes, sir.
This being your second. So you had a 2014 Speciale Coupe, and then you had this, and you had an Aperta of the same year, right?
Correct.
So what made you want to get rid of the 14?
Well, I didn't want to get rid of it. Always loved the Speciale. We'll go into it. It's a pinnacle car.
Yeah.
But as a car collector, we're always going through different stages. And I think at the time I was trying to get a TDF, so I made some trades. So I did let go of it. Actually, no, what it was the F40.
Oh yeah.
Remember that story?
I do. Yeah, we got featured in Motortrend actually, so that was pretty cool.
That was it.
That was really good because we had the Countach, right?
Yeah, the Countach.
Countach with the F40.
You did that beautiful shoot. My F40 and a buddy of mine, James Countach. But in order to get into the F40, I traded a bunch of cars.
Yeah.
At that time, Murcielago SV, Speciale, Rolls-Royce Ghost, and a Carrera GT.
Yeah.
So that's a quick background on why I let go of my first Speciale, but instantly missed it. I totally missed the naturally aspirated V8 sound.
Yeah.
This sound, as you will hear some of the external miking as well, is like F1 Symphony. It is just so pure, but I will tell you, when I did get this one and drove it back from Ferrari San Diego, on its stock exhaust, it sounded a little meek.
Yeah.
So I do think you need to wake him up, and I did put on IPE full system headers, decat, and exhaust.
So that's why it. That's the best thing in the world. And you notice, like, so it kicked loose a little bit there,
Yes.
and it locks in as soon as you change up.
That's one of the reasons, going back to why do I love this car. It is, first of all, perfect balance for me.
Yeah.
600 horsepower, great power to weight in terms of drivability. But I love that playful, you can kick the rear out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Super fun. So you had this and the Aperta at the same time.
Right.
You decided to move out of the Aperta.
Yep.
Why keep the coupe over the?
You know, it's one of those, that was kind of more of a collector move. Everyone's going to say, yeah, keep the Aperta, it's got more value, etc. But it's super mileage sensitive, as you know, and I think I had less than 1,000 miles on my Aperta. So I just felt a little guilty. I'm more of a driver's collector, and you know I love to drive my cars. We've got, it's not a lot, but 3,800 miles on this Speciale Coupe.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to feel guilty putting on miles, so I just decided to keep the coupe.
Of all the cars that you have in your collection, which just to name a few, we've got the CGT, and obviously we have the Murcielago SV.
Right.
What makes you want to jump into this and drive it as opposed to some of the other cars?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, like, all around as a driver's car, this is one of the most compliant, easiest to jump into, and does everything well. That, again, I just keep coming back to the nimbleness, the agility, the light playfulness. That's what I love about this car. I like to kick the rear out a little bit, have fun. It's got the noise, the sound, the exhaust, all around, direct handling. Everything about it does well. So yeah, it's easy to pick up the keys to the Speciale.
And you've driven, obviously, a standard 458 Italia.
Right.
And this is not the same car.
No. As you know, Ferrari does their limited editions, and they make things just a little bit better. I would call it like a 458 on steroids.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Just that noise.
It sounds so... And that's the problem with modern cars, right? All modern, not just Ferraris, all modern cars.
Yep.
They don't have that sound.
Yeah.
And even if you do modify them, they don't
cars like this.
Correct. Yeah, you look at the very next model, the 488, where they started turbocharging their engines, and of course we all know it just kind of muffles that NAV8.
Yeah.
So again, I just think it's a pinnacle sound. I'm trying to seek that F1 Monaco glorious, you know, echoing pitch.
The newer versions of these cars, the SF90, the 296, I'm sure they're faster. I'm sure they perform better on track. I'm sure they're more technologically advanced.
Right.
I've driven the 296 and it's a phenomenal car, but it doesn't give, to your point earlier, the emotional factor that you get driving a car like this.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And I've driven the 296 as well. Great technology. We've got hybridization, very fast. I did it on the Corsa Pilota with Ferrari at Utah Motorsport. It's very fast. But just like you said, I feel like the more technology there is, the more numbing of the visceral response. We talked about this earlier. I want to hop in a car and I want my hands to be sweaty. I want every single neuron to be fired, whether it's vibrations in my back, the smell of gas, all of that, the sound, the olfactory sound.
Oh, here we go, tunnel.
And here we go with some tunnel. Let's hear it. Monaco there for a quick second.
Yeah, we are here with Monaco Part 2. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. Such an amazing car. And that's the thing, is like SF90, 296, they'll go through that tunnel faster, but they won't sound that good.
You won't hear much.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But that's cool. It's almost better that this is, I don't want to use the word slower, but slightly less fast, because you get to enjoy the sound for slightly longer.
Absolutely. You know, I love that comment because, you know, if you are trying to enjoy something and you go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, it's like an instant. When you're spooling up that NA engine to 9,000 RPM and you're just feeling the crescendo, I mean, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And that's great because it's like downing an espresso in one gulp or taking a sip and enjoying the flavor.
That.
Right?
That's the perfect now. Are you gonna sip and enjoy it, or as you said, one shot swoop?
One shot, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's the perfect platform, again, for my skills, where that power to weight is easily controllable. I'll contrast that with my TDF that I had. That car has almost too much power where you kick the rear wheels loose and it can get a little bit dicey.
Yeah.
So there are cars that can be a little bit too much power to weight, and it can be very scary. This is a very well-controlled machinery.
Yeah.
That's the perfection of it.
It's been, I think that the 2010 to 2015 era, we were talking about this earlier, for Ferrari and probably the automotive industry in general, was peak for enjoyment.
Yep.
You know?
That design of that era is just so beautiful and elegant.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree.
458 design is just phenomenal, as the F12 is.
I agree. I think the F430... where I got nervous, but I'll tell you this, if we died, what a way to go. I mean, that's the way to do it.
Let's go, baby.
In a Speciale, that's the way to go.
Oh, that's just beautiful. I mean, I feel it in the passenger seat.
The passenger seat, this is probably the only car I don't mind being passenger in. Because I get to enjoy it without the terror that I could ruin a car that I absolutely love.
True. Oh, these S's are, you know.
They're fantastic. The freaking F1 transmission in this car is just stupid.
It is. It's just so well still. I can feel each gear shift that you're pulling, which is incredible technology, because if you compare this to a Huracan Performante, which I had it, you couldn't feel it. You switch the gears and it feels very electrical and numb. But Ferrari has kept that bang in your back. So once again, woo, this feels amazing.
If you want to drive SF90, 296, I keep going back to that car because that's where Ferrari is now.
Yeah.
If you want to drive those on a road like this, it's going to be terrifying to push the car the way that we're pushing this one.
Right.
And that's the beautiful thing about this car, is that they've made a car that gives you the performance and the confidence to use all of it.
Exactly.
And in a supercar, you can't really say that for most of them, I would say.
I agree, and that's you hit a key word, all of it. I want to be able to experience every single mechanical part of this car, including all of its horsepower, which I can. Am I as good of a driver? Could I kick the SF90 Spider through the canyons with throttle down? Probably not. I'd probably be scared crapless because it's too fast of a car. So it's hit that perfect pinnacle in my mind.
Yeah.
You felt it. I mean, it is so analog.
I can't thank you enough, man.
Bro,
this has been...
that was incredible.
I couldn't have asked for a better car, a better person to drive it with. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and us hooning around in this car. Leave us a comment down below with your thoughts if you agree. Is this the best Ferrari, modern Ferrari, that they've ever made? But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. And let us know if you want us to do more videos of other cars. Please say yes, because I really want to.
We actually have a lot of cool more cars we can do.
Do you want to name a couple? Just
we gotta do the Carrera GT.
Carrera GT,
right?
That's a good one.
It's probably one of the best Porsches.
SF90.
We can do the SF90 Spider.
And then you have a 911.
We've got the 997 GT2 RS. You know, that's
amazing.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff.
So comment which car we should do next, and then we'll try to set that up. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.